In this video I'm going to show a little bit how to use the cameras in Cinema 4D, how to animate them on splines and how to keyframe animate them. And I'm also going to set up a stage so we can switch cameras during the animation. I set up a small scene here. I'm going to film this little guy here. I have one camera spin around him, and then I'm going to have another camera pan down on him. So let's start by attaching one of our cameras to the spline. So I grab camera 1, which is this one. I go into tags, Cinema 4D tags, align to spline. Then I grab my circle and I put that into the spline path. The next step here is that I want this to be focused on the figure in the center here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a null point. I'm just going to call that camera target. To move that into the center. Then I'm going to go back to camera 1, into tags, Cinema 4D tags, and find a target tag. The target tag, I'm going to drag my camera target null object into this box. Now we can see that the camera is pointing towards the null object. I can move my object and the camera will follow that all the time. My next step is that I want this to rotate 160 degrees on these 90 frames here. So going into my spline tag, I'm going to set a keyframe by holding the control on position here. Click the little circle, go to the end frame, type in 100%, let's set a new keyframe. I'm going to play it off, see if it works, and that one works. Let's go into the camera by clicking this. And I'm fairly happy with that. The next thing that I want to do is I want to have the other camera start at his head and then kind of pan down towards his feet. Or actually I'm going to do it the other way around. It's more natural to start at the feet and then end up in the face area. So I'm going to grab that camera. I can do this with a spline too, but I'm going to do this with just normal keyframe animation instead. I'm going to rotate my camera into place. Like this. Kind of check the distance. I'm happy with it. You can also, when you're in the camera, you can also adjust it like this. So I'm happy with that position. But this is going to be cutting in between here. I also need to increase my frame range. So I'm going to do that by adding up to 150 frames. Drag this one out. The second camera is going to start its animation on frame 90. So I'm just going to set a keyframe here to frame 90. Set a new keyframe. You don't need to set the keyframe in the first place there, but I kind of like to do it. Then I'm going to go to frame 150. Move the camera up so I can see the face area. Let's jump into it. Yeah, pretty happy with that too. Of course, you need to adjust it based on your. Of course, you need to base it on your object here. It might be a bit too close, but I'm not too worried about that since this is just a tutorial. So now I can go out and I can just go back to first frame, click play, just see if the animations are actually working. And I forgot to place a keyframe here. So I need to do that again. would back up into the position, just check it, and place a keyframe. And now it works. So in order to make this also be jump between the cameras for your render, you can put out a scene object. We'll find that in the environment box here and find the stage, or it's called a stage object. I keep referring it to as a scene object. Here you have but in your stage object you have your camera box here. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to drag my camera 1 into that box like this. Then on frame 90, when this animation's ended, I'm going to put it in a keyframe and drag down camera 2 instead. Just update the keyframe. So now when I play the animation, see, that's a bit messed up. I need to drag down camera 1 here. Like that. It will swap over in the middle of the render. Just note that when you have your stage object here, you can't actually jump out of the cameras. It is impossible. The camera is locked on what camera is active in the stage. So if you want to modify this scene, you just need to click this little green hook here, and you'll be able to work in your scene.